Hello and welcome back, RBG family and friends. Today we are in the kitchen. We are bringing you guys a recipe. It's been a long time since we've been in the kitchen together, so I am very happy to be here with you guys. Now, this is not a true recipe that is mine. I've been intrigued to be on YouTube, LOL, and been looking through other people's recipe. My husband has a very wide palate and he loves a lot of desserts and a lot of foods, and he also likes to be in the kitchen. He's been in the kitchen for the past month and a half since I've been out of the kitchen because of surgery. I'm slowly trying to introduce myself back into the kitchen, i.e., which is why you're seeing this video. And before I went out on surgery, I found this video on YouTube. The YouTuber, I think, is True77, giving him props for this because he was the one that uploaded this recipe. So I am going to be recreating it, and I recreated once and I'm going to recreate it now for YouTube. And it was delicious. My family loved it. I got my kids to eat it, which they do not touch anything with fruit involved and cake, and they actually loved it. Even my little one, and she's my picky one. My husband loves peach cobbler in any form. Now, I have never made peach cobbler from scratch. This is actually, I guess, the lazy version. This is what we're making today. It's called peach cobbler dump cake. I've done another version of this, which I'll probably record for you guys down the lane. But this is what we're doing today. The ingredients here are in front of you guys, plus my tools that we will be using. This will hopefully be a very short video if I don't keep rambling, as I always do. The recipe calls for 2 cans of peaches. I actually went ahead and got the bigger one, which is equivalent to 2 cans, is the 29 ounces. This is what I had in hand. It's best if you get the heavy syrup one. I just happen to have this one, which is light syrup. This is what I had at home, so this is what I'm using. 1 cup of brown sugar. I'm using granulated sugar. He doesn't specify if you need to use granulated, light, dark, etc. I'm using what I have at home. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch with 1 tablespoon of water, so you can make a slushy, so you can thicken the peach mixture. 2 sticks of butter, so you can melt it either on the stove or the microwave, whichever way your heart desires. And you will guys see me put this all together. And 1 box of yellow cake. My choice that I have in front of you guys is Betty Crocker butter recipe yellow. This is all gonna come together before your eyes. So let's go ahead and put this together. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so I have you guys over here set up at the stove. I have my notes written down because I'm not gonna have his video playing, and I've only done this once, and this will be the second time that I'm doing this. So we are at the stove. I am going to go ahead and turn my stove on. I'm going to leave it at about a low simmer. And what we are going to do is we're going to pour all of the peaches in. We're gonna try not to make a huge mess, right? And slowly to that, we're gonna start adding the ingredients. I'm gonna go ahead and go get those ready, and I'll meet you in a second. We're gonna add 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And now, if you can see, I'm going to tilt it a little bit for you. It's starting to bubble. We're going to incorporate all of this together. I'm going to mix, mix, mix. We want all of these things to incorporate, and we want that granulated brown sugar to melt. while we wait for all of this to kind of simmer just a little bit and the brown sugar to incorporate into the syrup, we're going to go ahead and make the slurry that consists of the cornstarch and the water. And we're also going to go ahead and melt our butter. So we're going to go ahead and leave this here and let it do its thing. And we're going to go ahead and prep that over there next to our sink. So, because I want to be able to do two things at the same time, I already have 1 stick of butter in my mason jar. This mason jar is one of the big ones. I think it's about 32 ounces. I can't remember. This is one of the wide mouth ones. Love mason jars here. Converting my kitchen into everything glass, for bakeware, for drinkware, for anything that you can think of. Not trying to have anything here foil or etc. So we're going to go ahead and put the 2 sticks of butter here. I'm going to choose to put mine in the microwave. It takes about, I think, a minute to completely melt it. If it's not completely melted, it'll melt it about halfway, and then I'll just take a spoon and stir it in and it'll completely dissolve it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the microwave. In the interim, I'll start doing the slurry while the microwave is working on this. So in another mason jar, we are going to do the slurry, the cornstarch slurry, and it's going to be equal parts per the directions. This is a new box. My husband was using cornstarch while I was out like it was nobody's business. That's my microwave calling me. So it calls for 1 tablespoon of cornstarch to 1 tablespoon of water. So there's the cornstarch. And let me go get some water from the filter. And 1 tablespoon of water. And with the fork, we're just gonna move that in as quickly as possible to make that slushy. Perfect. And just like that, I don't know if you guys can see it, we got a nice little slush. We're gonna go get the butter from the microwave because it is calling me. And we're going to see if that's ready for us. Okay, so I took the butter off of the microwave, nice and melted. Over here, it seems like we have a nice little foam developing right here. My stove is probably on too high. Got a new stove, guys, and we still, me, is still learning the levels of it. But anywho's, this seems to be that everything has incorporated. So we're going to go ahead and swivel this around real quick to make sure that everything is there. So we're going to go ahead and add our slushy of cornstarch while we're mixing it in the bottom to make sure that everything incorporates. And we are good. We're gonna go ahead and wait for that to simmer up once again so that it thickens up. That shouldn't take too long. And once this happens, we will be ready to pour it into our glass 9x13. All right, so we are pretty much at a nice boil, as you can see here. I did raise the flame to about medium high. We're somewhere in the middle, and we are boiling really nicely. It's semi-thick, semi-loose, but I'm going to pull it off at this consistency because we are going to be putting a dry cake on top of it, and we do need some moisture. So we're going to turn the stove off and we are going to move over to the baking pan. So I went ahead and greased the bottom of my glass pan with some Pam baking spray. You can go ahead and choose to grease up your pan with whatever it is that you choose to, whatever your liking is. We are going to go ahead and pour our peach mixture right in. Ooh. That looks beautiful. Look at that. Now make sure you get everything. Don't leave nothing behind. All that goodness. Ooh, it smells amazing in here. All right, beautiful. Put that in the sink because we no longer need that. All right, so the next step is going to be putting the cake on. We're gonna go ahead and open that box. All right, so like I stated, what I'm choosing to use is this Betty Crocker Super Moist, and it's the butter recipe mix. And we're just gonna go ahead and pour the whole bag literally right on top. There's really no wrong or right way how to do this. Just try to make it as even as possible. This is pretty much the purpose to this. I'll show you the end product once I'm done. You're just trying to cover the whole surface of the peaches at this point. And then you can go in with a flat spatula if you have one. And you can run through it, which you will see me do right now. So to even it out, I'm just going to use this spatula that I have here. It has holes, but it's fine. All I'm pretty much is using just the tip, just to cover every nook and cranny. I don't want any of the juices to show. And I'm just pretty much just leveling it up. I'm going to show you the end product. I'm going to give you an overhead, as you see already, what I'm doing. So let me go ahead and finish this up so I don't keep you guys here too long, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. All right, so that's the end product. Jeez, that was really like painful. That's like laying down cement. Not perfect, but we got there. So now we have our butter, and we're just gonna try to evenly distribute it as much as we can, literally right over the top. This is gonna hopefully give us a nice crunchy top. All of these wonderful juices and tastes and all of this wonderful goodness, all of this is just gonna marinate together, and it's just gonna give us a wonderful, tasty result at the end. Now this is going to go into the oven at 350 degrees for about 35 to 45 minutes. It all depends on your oven. I already mentioned we did get a new stove. It's gorgeous, guys. I love this thing. It's like the stove of my dreams, but I personally am still learning the ins and out of the stove. And sometimes things can go at 350 for what it needs it. Sometimes I need to raise up the temperature. So I'm still playing with her to figure her out. So I'm going to go per instructions. When I first did this peach cobbler, I was able to follow instructions to the T at 350 for 45 to about 50 minutes, and it was perfect. So we'll see what this stove tells me. If I can still do that, or if I have to change it per my stove. So everybody's stove is different, so you follow what you need to follow per your stove. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in our oven. My oven is currently preheating because I did the rule that you're not supposed to and not preheat it as I was working on it. So we're going to go ahead and wait till our oven preheats, and we're going to go ahead and pop this in the oven at 350 per the instructions, and we will see what happens. We will meet you guys at the tail end when this is ready, and we will show you the end results. Now you can pair this with ice cream. Vanilla ice cream is wonderful with this, as with any peach cobbler. At least that's what I've heard. I don't think we paired it with vanilla ice cream. We've only had it by itself. I think the last time I made it, I think we had some chocolate ice cream or chocolate sorbet, and it was delicious with that. We just wanted to have it with something cold because we did have it warm, and it was amazing. So you do you play around with it and see what works. I probably might send either my son or my daughter to get vanilla ice cream, just because I want to see what the hype is about, to see if it is delicious with that and see what happens. I wish I had whipped cream so we can top it off with that. But into the oven she will go once it reaches 350, and we will meet you guys at the tail end with the finished product. So there you have it, guys. Peach cobbler dump cake. I put it in for 350, as I said. I let mine go for an hour. My stove, I think, runs a little slow. I could have maybe bumped it up to 400 and could have gotten away with the 45 minutes, but maybe I could have toasted the top if I would have done that. So I left it at the 350 and let it in for an hour. I thought about maybe just putting it to a broiler just to toast the top a little bit more, but I think I got a nice golden brown on the top, except here in the middle. As you see, the butter probably did not sit here, but that's okay. All is well. Other than that, it's perfection. I just literally took it out of the oven, so we're not gonna go into it yet unless you like to go and eat your stuff, I guess, piping hot, if that's what you like to call it. We're gonna let it sit per instructions. You can have it, warm, you can have it cold with ice cream, as I already stated, but this is the finished product. It smells delicious. Just from this, I'm also cooking dinner. We're having meatballs and spaghettis tonight, so I figured I'm already in the kitchen, might as well get a heads up. But other than that, this is the ending to this recipe. I'll probably post some pictures, add them to the thumbnail once we decide to plate this up and what we put next to it as the side dish, or what we dress it up with. As usual, guys, we love you guys, and please comment, like, and subscribe so that YouTube shares us with the world, and it'll also help our algorithm. We'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.